I think we're on. I think we're live. Here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timelines and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Lowe's Def, and tonight I'm here solo. You know what I mean? Y'all know how I rock every now and then with the solo episodes. And before I get started, man, let's start this off with some good energy. You know what I'm saying? Let's start this off with a like. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. You can follow me on social media as well. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Instagram, and that's where shit gets bubbling and popping and a lot of engagement. But yeah, we just trying to improve the engagement. So even leave a comment, man. What can I do better? What can I do differently? What do you like about what I'm saying? If you disagree, I'm always open for a respectful debate. You know what I mean? I think people that know me, sometimes I ain't gonna hold y'all. I think y'all be scared of the smoke for like, I don't know if y'all, you know, he go back and forth too much or you know, because I might dig into a certain point, whatever. Yeah, man. So tonight, man, you know, I just wanted to I did want to do a solo episode because actually I wanted to run something back because I tried to do a solo episode actually before I did this episode with Marijani. Shout out to my homegirl, Marijani. I did a solo episode and I recorded it. I even had the setup a little bit different, like just to change it up. You know what I mean? Still in my little studio area, but tried to change the setup. Had a whole video done. I was about to edit it that same night, you know what I mean? Which I rarely ever do. Which I need to start doing though. So just to save myself some time. And then I go to try to edit it and there's no sound. So you know, I did a test recording. We're good. You know what I mean? It's just a different setup when I have guests versus when I'm by myself. And you know, that when I was coming back from that would have been my first episode off of a break. So after Thanksgiving, I took like a week off. Normally I don't really like to miss any drops. But no, I needed that break, man, because even that Thanksgiving you know, week off, whatever, you know, just having a lot of time off work. Sometimes when you're off for a extended period of time, you either have nothing to do and you're just kind of chilling and relaxing, or you're doing something every day. And I had one of those vacations where I was like doing something every day. So I did not get a chance to record. But yeah, like I had a whole episode done and it didn't take whatever. I didn't have it set up right. So I did have a formal thank you on there. So a formal thank you to Worldwide Wednesday and the Ripple Effect. I was a part of an event a couple weeks ago called the Give Back Festival, and you know, I did a lot of live interviews there, really branching out, trying to, you know, talk to some other artists in other parts of the 717. You know, typically you might see artists from York. I've even done some stuff with people from Harrisburg, but Lancaster, although I'm a resident out here, it's not like I don't have a foothold, I feel like, yet. You know what I mean? So just trying to branch out, man. And Worldwide Wednesday, man, he just does a good job of networking. And they put on a beautiful event, man. They had a dope conference prior to that, man. And got to talk to some really cool people. It was a really good network opportunity. You might catch me outside coming up, maybe this coming weekend. I might be at this Jagged Edge concert. You know, if I get to talk to J.E., that would make my Christmas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, just trying to get outside. You can catch me January 7th. You can catch us outside at I'm gonna be a part of a fashion show, and I'm gonna kind of give the details as we get closer to that. But yeah, it's a dope fashion show. Ace of Styles, I believe the brand is. And yeah, man. So speaking of Christmas spirit, how y'all feeling this year, man? You know what I mean? I felt like Black Friday was a little bit light. Like I didn't really hear people talking about it. Maybe because I wasn't shopping as heavy as I have in other years. This year I'm trying to go a little bit conservative. But what I would say is just don't go broke for Christmas, y'all. Let's start 2023 off right, and you know what I mean. Do what you gotta do for your kids. and because that's what it typically is. Do what you gotta do for your kids, but at the same time, you know what I mean, your kids, they're gonna love anything that they get, but don't go beyond your means to, I don't know if it's a thing that we try to impress ourselves or try to impress our peers, if it's just an ego boost. But every year for Christmas, we overextend ourselves, and I'm gonna speak for, I don't know if it is a black thing, whatever, but definitely I know in the black community we tend to overextend ourselves for Christmas, and trying to keep up with the Joneses and buy all these things, and then basically though we create these like consumer monsters, what I'm saying, that maybe we didn't anticipate, what I'm saying, because when you set the bar so high for your young kids, then they just gonna want more and more and more, or bigger and bigger things, which some of that is natural because with age the gifts tend to be more expensive, like they get bigger things that cost more money. However, with little kids, what I'm saying, like why are we going super extravagant? You all know, parents can relate, man. You buy your kids certain toys and they only play with those toys for a little bit and forget about it, or there's even toys that they don't even get to. Like I remember I bought my son some stuff that he ain't really break open and start playing with until September, like this past September. Like I'm like, bro, like you had this shit for what, 9-10 months now, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's be mindful of that, you know what I mean? Like we don't want to start off waiting for everybody's excited for that refund check, but like let's not anticipate the refund check because we're trying to recover from Christmas. All right, so but speaking of Christmas though, I just got a question, and I might make this a poll question, but so for people that are dating, newly dating, I guess, newly getting acquainted, you know what I mean? You participated in cuffing season this year, right? So I guess my question is, what is the Christmas gift cutoff date, right, for new couples or new situations? You know what I mean? When is it too soon to buy a person you're dating a gift? You know what I mean? And then again, even with that, to what level are you setting the bar? Because, you know what I mean, you don't want to go too low and to where it feels like you're a friend, like you're just a friend. But then you don't want to go too high because then, you know what I mean, what if you can't match that? Or what if you're not around? What if that shorty not around? What if that dude is not around come Valentine's Day? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be real upset about that. But yeah, so I just wondered that. So yeah, so let's get into some stuff, man. So let's start off with a Twitter topic. This is a good one. So this is something I just seen, whatever, and I had to chime in myself, whatever. But there's a woman, she posted this, and I don't know her, so that's a good thing about Twitter. Sometimes you just see conversations, and there's people that don't know. But I always try to give credit to the people who started these tweets, especially if I use it for content. But her name is @JellyWarbucks. It says, what's the worst thing you've had to watch for some dick? I'll go first. Vlad interviews, whatever. So, oh my God, man, like looking at these comments, it's crazy. Like one of the funny comments I think. So what was the worst thing they had to watch? She said she'll go first. This one woman said his children. Oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like you watching your new shorty or your new boo's kids, and they're bad. I mean, that's the worst thing you had to watch. That's crazy. I'm seeing some people saying Vlad interviews. I seen a homie say something about he's made some girls watch some episodes of $1 Million Worth of Game and Eagles highlights from the year that they won the Super Bowl. Now I think that's kind of insane as well. And then I seen some people put some like battle rap and stuff like that, which, so this I'll admit this. Now I have had a shorty or two watch a battle with me, or and the only thing is because they know I like battle rap, and if they show some interest and they're really unfamiliar with it, I'm not just gonna start the night off with a battle, like, or I'm not even gonna build the rapport with putting on a battle, whatever. If they show some interest in what I like and then they're curious about it, I'm gonna try to show them something that I think that they could kind of resonate with, or something that's shocking that they just so they get the gist of what I'm talking about, or they might want to know who my favorite battle rapper is, and I tell them Geechee Gotti, and then I'll show them something. So I did show. I remember showing. I remember showing somebody this friendly battle. It was like a nice battle where basically like a compliment battle. So they're saying nice things to each other. It was Geechee Gotti versus Frack, and that's actually fun. That's a good little thing to show somebody. But I admit though, so I also admit this though, I had like a thing, right? So, you know, when I was dating out here, you know, whatever, just, you know, playing the field. And if I would have any kind of company over, I just tell you this, I would always try to, like, when it comes to entertainment, movies are probably the way to go. Because TV shows, if you already are watching the TV show, it's weird, and they don't watch that TV show, it's weird to watch season 3 episode 8, you know what I mean, and then just expect her to be like into it, whatever. Because one, we all know that women, you know, when you trying to watch something and you engaged in it, they're gonna ask 1,000,001 questions, right? First off, that's off the bat. So why would you try to pick up from something that you already been watching, and she don't have she's not cognizant of the show at all, she has no understanding of what's going on with the plot? So you're gonna waste that time when you trying to listen to the dialogue, watch the action. You're gonna waste that time and trying to explain that to her or whatever. So this is what my go-to was. I'm gonna tell you what my go-to was, and this is some shit. This is some play shit, whatever, for y'all out there in the streets. Season 1 of Insecure. Like, yo, I seen season 1 of Insecure so many times, or even episode 1 of season 1, you know what I mean, like whatever, because that's a great show to show any woman of any culture, any race, whatever, you know what I mean, it don't even matter. But yeah, they want, you know what I mean, show them something funny, has a little bit of drama, has some things that they can kind of relate to and they can kind of laugh at. Black Lady Sketch Show, that's another one too. But yeah, like my go-to was I used to show Shorty's Insecure, the first season of Insecure, and then actually they would you know, there were some that would end up watching it. There was some that, like, they, you know, that was a point of, like, if they would come back, if they got invited back, that's what they wanted to watch. Like, oh, can we watch another episode? Like, they'd be excited about that shit. So I'm just telling you, man, you gotta, if you're gonna entertain, try to watch a movie that neither one of y'all has watched. Try to avoid TV shows. Try to avoid weird documentaries. But, like, I mean, just don't come strong, man. You gotta read the room, man. You gotta make them feel comfortable, man. So that's just some word of advice for y'all, man. So yeah, I want to hear in the comment section, and when I put out a clip of this, what is the craziest thing, weirdest thing, wildest thing that you showed a woman, maybe prior to y'all having sex, or prior to just kind of them coming to kick it with you? What is something that is really just like exemplifies your personality, and maybe she didn't get it, but she still kind of participated though, and it's something that they might not necessarily like. But yeah, Vlad interviews, I'm staying away from that. But anyway, moving on. So all right, man, so one of the big headlines, we're gonna talk about a little bit about sports right now. One of the big headlines over the past week has been Deion Sanders. So Deion Sanders is all over the headlines, and it is because he is leaving Jackson State University, which is a HBCU. He's leaving that college to go to the University of Colorado to coach there. All right, so he got a head coaching job at a Power 5 school, and just if you don't know what that is, Power 5, it's, you know, when it comes to college football, there's only certain teams that kind of get full consideration when it comes to playing in a championship game. Like, because, you know, you got to play. There are some teams that, you know, they have good records, but they didn't really play anybody. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different divisions and conferences and all this type of stuff or whatever. But Power 5 is, you know, there's like 5 conferences in which, you know, your team, if you do well, you're guaranteed to, if you go undefeated or whatever, you're guaranteed to go to the playoff at least. At the very least, you're guaranteed to go to the playoff so you can go to the championship. So, but with that though, all right, Whew, man, it's a heavy topic because just with any time a successful black man is in a position where they are elevating themselves to a different level, especially when where they start has to like is in the community, like, and they're doing something for our people, right? And then when they elevate to another level, right? One of the main things is that people, and this is not just football. This is like in a lot of different facets of life. Is when we start off humbly and we do something for our community, but then we want to expand because we want greater opportunities. Oftentimes, black men, black women too, they get called sellouts, right? And that's kind of the rhetoric. I haven't seen that word yet. Like, I haven't seen them say sellout yet, but he's getting a lot of backlash, man. So Deion Sanders, man, one of the greatest football players to ever live. You know what I mean? One of the greatest players ever. Like, and that's it's arguable, but people will agree. Like, he may be a top 5, NFL player of all time. Really, really influential in terms of just the cachet. Like, when we think of like athletes and like the flashiness of athletes and things like that comes from Deion Sanders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was, and sometimes they got that stuff from like pro wrestlers and things like that. But like, I just actually watched an episode of Young Rock, and so they show Young Rock, he's watching Deion Sanders in the interview, and that inspired his persona, his bravado when the Rock was, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, when he was trying to get his niche and his personality in wrestling, whatever. Like, and I didn't know this, whatever, but it comes from Deion Sanders. So like, he's the father of the flashy athlete, really. You know what I mean? But he can back it up with his skill and things like that. So he was an analyst for many years, whatever. And so yeah, a couple years ago, I think about 3 years ago, he took a job at Jackson State University, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal because it's a HBCU, a high profile name. Typically, these athletes can kind of just. Usually you have to, in coaching, you have to come up the ranks a little bit. You got to put in your time. So like, just because you have a name doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be a head coach somewhere. You got to be an assistant or something like that. Well, as far as I know, Deion Sanders did not do any coaching in the NFL. He did not do any like lower level assistant coaching in college, but he landed a head coaching job, which he wouldn't have probably been able to do at any other college, but he lands one at Jackson State University. And it was a big deal because then he started getting these, pretty decent recruiting classes. The program apparently turned around, and they were making it to postseasons, and I don't know if they didn't win any championships, whatever, but like brought a lot of money to the school, brought a lot of a higher profile to HBCUs in general. Probably made some athletes that were going to go to bigger schools, make them go to HBCUs, and just to show that, like, hey, there's talent here as well. We know some of the greatest NFL players have gone to like small schools, HBCUs, and things like that. But it's not super common. But just to try to show these kids that, hey, opportunity is everywhere. Like, why go to a Power 5 school that we talking about? And just to say that you went there, you know what I mean? But then you're like the third, fourth, fifth string guy, because there's these rosters on college football teams are like 100-man rosters, right? Like, that's what we're talking about here. But why do that when you could be a big fish in a small pond, so to speak, and you could be the man. You could get, playing time, and with a coach like Deion Sanders, you're gonna get looks. You know what I mean? Like, these NFL scouts are gonna look at you because of who your coach is. You know what I mean? Just off that. So it was a big deal. But then, apparently, and I didn't follow this prior to that, but like, and my logic would be that, yeah, like, all right, he would get his name up and then he would go to somewhere else. Like, that was the natural progression, I think, for me, when I think about this situation. And that's kind of what happened. However, now people are upset, right? There's people that are upset. There's people that are vocal. And the people that should be the most upset are probably the players themselves, right? New recruits, right? And maybe the families of those recruits. But everybody else, like, man, it's just tough because he's in a situation where it's a lose-lose situation. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So, coaching at HBCU, the funding isn't there. Even in a football program, even though he's generating a lot of revenue, there's still, like, those schools have a lot of gaps in their finances, and they probably can't. They don't have the best facilities and things like that. But he's helped to build that up. But I think a lot of people put too much weight on Deion's shoulders, right? Because there's a lot of rhetoric, and shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson, somebody that is, definitely pro African, man, pro black, really for the liberation of our people and things like that, which it's amazing, man. Like, some of the stuff he says, some of the rhetoric he comes off with is a little reckless for my taste. But his last interview, he just did an interview with Breakfast Club, and he was making a lot of sense. Like, that was one of his, like, I felt most well-rounded interviews that I've ever seen of him, because he kind of demystified some things. But anyway, when the topic of Deion came out, though, I feel like even somebody like Dr. Umar put a little bit too much emphasis and too much on Deion's shoulders, because he's saying, like, yeah, it's bigger than football. He could have rebuilt up the prominence of college football and HBCUs, which Charlamagne made a good point. He was like, well, why does it have to stop with him? Just because Deion leaves, that doesn't mean that it's gone forever. Now, granted, Jackson State is going to take a hit, right? Those kids that he left there, and they're going to be salty. They're not going to get the same opportunities with whoever comes in. However, with Deion going to coach there, we might start that. If anything, somebody has to get the ball rolling, where we might get to see more coaches, right? Former players, big name players, right? Start to get in the coaching rankings by coaching HBCUs. They talked about, Charlamagne kept trying to say Eddie George, because I guess Eddie George coaches at Tennessee State, I believe. And Dr. Umar was like, oh, that's just one person. Well, again, then that negates your argument against Deion, because Deion is just one person, right? So he just he's getting a lot of backlash, because he's like, oh, he took the money instead of worrying about, the system, like trying to improve the system. And although that would be a great thing, that's a very honorable thing to do, very altruistic thing to do, to think about, the bigger picture and how to improve, historically black colleges, whatever. However, like, I don't think Deion did anything malicious. You know what I mean? I think him getting the job at Colorado is something to celebrate. You know what I mean? There's not that many, if we want to keep it a buck, there's not even that many black coaches in college football at all, like head coaches. So, you know what I mean? So, like, it's an accomplishment for him to be where he's at right now. You know what I mean? For him to get that job. But I think kind of what Charlamagne was alluding to is that it doesn't have to stop with Deion, man. Like, he might be the catalyst for things happening in the future. Like, we might see in the next, 3 to 5 years, we start to see some coaches kind of trickling in, or players that want to be coaches trickling in. And I think it can be something good, but to put all that on Deion's shoulders, I don't think it's fair, man. I don't think it's fair. And it's just unfortunate, because when you are a black man, and like I said, you start to reach certain heights and you want to elevate in your own career, you always have the burden of trying to bring everybody else up with you. And is that fair? Is that fair to expect of one person? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it is. It would have been beautiful if he could have stayed there and he would have been like Eddie Robinson in Grambling State and been the longest tenured coach. But Deion, he's worried about his own and there's nothing wrong with that either. He's worried about his own legacy, and he wants to be a great coach. Period. He wants to prove that he can coach at a high level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. What do y'all think about the Deion situation? What does it mean? And it's crazy because he went to Colorado. And because, I don't know, Dr. Umar, he pointed out, like, the racial demographics of Colorado, which he said was like 98.5%. I think it's like 1.5% black people. And it's pretty much all the athletes in that school. So, Could he have went somewhere maybe a little more diversity? Probably, but like if you think about PWIs in general, those demographics are probably similar to most PWIs, and most of your black students. Not most of them, but like there's probably a large contingent of a lot of colleges where their population is coming from the athletic sphere of the college, though. So, but what do y'all think, man? Is Deion facing too harsh a criticism? Do you think he should have stayed at Jackson State? Are you happy that he went to Colorado? Are you happy that he's getting opportunity? Because apparently he's saying like he's taking his staff with him, so he is changing the lives of people, just not he can't change the lives of everybody, unfortunately. So leave a comment in the comment section, man, what y'all think about that, man. So let's move on, man. Sticking with football. Let me talk about my team real quick, man. And just an experience I had, man. So I got the opportunity to go to a Packers game this year, and it was a complete surprise for real. Like I did not expect it. Like, before the season starts, you always try to look at the games and try to look ahead and see where you're gonna go. If you're gonna go to a game, well, living in PA, typical games that I would go to an Eagles game to see my team. I would go to a Redskin, or I would go to a Washington Commanders game to watch my team. Maybe I might go to New York, but Baltimore is as well, because where I'm at in PA. Pittsburgh is a little too far. Like I'll go to New York before I go to Pittsburgh, but still people go out there. So I didn't this year. I didn't plan on going to any games, and so it was like basically a gift to me. Like it was gifted to me. So I went to a Green Bay Eagles versus Eagles game. I went to that game, and man, let me just tell you about my experience, man. This is the first time I went to and tailgated. So I've been to a Packers Commanders game, right? The Packers Washington game, and that was cool, whatever. So this is only my second time ever going to a game, but I was in a Eagles tailgate. It was so dope, man. And the vibes, man. Like I might do that. I might just go tailgate at some games. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. If I'm in the Philly area, I wouldn't mind. Like I'll pay that parking and then just cook out and poly with people, man. Because it was definitely a vibe. A lot of free food, a lot of alcohol and things like that. I was a guest, so and I wasn't driving, so I was allowed to kind of get sauced up, man. So it was a good look. And I was worried a little bit because now Philly is like, I'm not a Philly fan, even though Philly is like a second home to me. My dad is from Philadelphia. All my family, like probably like 90% of my family lives in Philadelphia. And so I'm not like, I don't have no qualms about going there. I feel safe when I'm there, all that type of stuff, whatever. But there's always Eagles fans get a bad rap, whatever, for being like their fans get a bad rap at the stadium for being pretty belligerent and they wanting to start stuff. Well, I was talking to some people and they said that really they don't really have smoke for too many people. You can't be a Cowboys fan though. Like they always got smoke for Cowboys fans. And if you start with them, that's when they gonna kind of go back. And Packers are struggling this year, and the Eagles are on fire. I mean, they're a one-loss team, and I think the Packers held their own. I mean, they put up way more points than I thought. The game was a lot closer than I thought, and it was a good time, man. I had great seats, man. I was in the red zone, right? So I was, and these were season ticket holder seats, right? So I'm in the red zone. I'm at like the 20. I might be at the 30, but I'm at the 20, between the 30 and the 20-yard line. Visitor side, row section 123. So that's the first section. Row 15 on the aisle. Boom! Like talk about great seats, man. Like the aisle is nice because you can kind of get up and go as you don't gotta get past people if you gotta go bathroom, want snacks, want to stretch your legs, whatever. You want to explore, you can do that. And but the Eagles fans, they were respectful, man. Obviously excited about their team winning and things like that. But like nobody had a little banter with some people, but nothing too crazy, man. And in that game though, we did get a glimpse of Jordan Love getting to play. Shout out to Packers fans. Y'all know our backup quarterback, Jordan Love, controversial backup quarterback, and we can get into that. But Aaron Rodgers suffered an injury, so Jordan Love came in and he looked kind of good. He looked pretty decent. So then it's like starting this quarterback controversy. However, that the controversy was kind of killed maybe like a week later when Aaron Rodgers played in the next game anyway. Like he wasn't as injured as it thought to be. So but now that the Packers are probably out of playoff contention, the question is, are they going to give Jordan Love a shot? Like, are they going to let Jordan Love get some reps? And I think they should. Just to see what they have. Aaron Rodgers, his contract costs way too much. The only way we get rid of him is if we trade him. And I don't know if there's any team in the NFL right now that's one quarterback away from a Super Bowl run. You know what I'm saying? Like just a quarterback away. Like you plug in a quarterback, like they got receivers, they got running backs, they got an offensive line, they got a good defense. All you need is a quarterback, and you go win, and you got a chance to win a Super Bowl. I don't know if there's a team like that, especially a team that's willing to invest like $40 to $50 million on a quarterback that might play for 2-3 more seasons at the most, 3 seasons at the most, but maybe 1 or 2 more seasons. So. We'll see, but I think it is time to give Jordan Love a shot. At the very least, maybe see what we got in Jordan Love, and maybe he is the trade bait. You know what I mean? But I think we should keep Jordan Love and think about the future, because it looks like we got some young receivers that are capable now. It took a little while, but yeah, man. So that's that on sports. Leave a comment like what y'all think, man, about Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. Do you think that the Packers should be giving Jordan Love some reps? Would you want Aaron Rodgers if your team had a chance to trade for Aaron Rodgers based on whoever your quarterback is? Would you take an Aaron Rodgers trade right now? Leave a comment in the section. Let me know what y'all think, man. So let's move on, man. Let's move on to some more matters. And actually, like I said, I was going to talk about this a couple weeks ago, but it's still relevant in a sense. But so Kanye in the headlines, and he's in. He said in November he said he was going to be quiet and he wasn't going to talk, and he wasn't exactly quiet in November. However, now it's December. You know what I mean, and he's still making headlines. Some negative, some not so negative, some, maybe things against him, some things, I don't know. So I'm not getting into probably the most controversial things. I'm getting into the culturally messy things, right? So, so Kanye West, man, court ordered him to pay, and so the divorce seems to be finalized and all that, whatever, and he is now ordered to pay $200,000 a month in child support. Now, it's funny because a lot of people make jokes, right? So one of the jokes is like, yo, he made GoldDigger just to be in this situation, right? You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like, did he manifest his destiny, so to speak, by making a song like that years ago, right? It's ironic. It's a good little Twitter joke. You know what I mean? Like, haha, like that's funny. That's crazy. Like you ended up with a GoldDigger anyway, right? Here's the thing though. Most gold diggers are broke, right? So Kim don't really fit the mold of gold digger. However, it's beyond me to think why would Kanye have to pay that much in child support now? And I'm talking about, obviously he has an obligation to, be there for his kids, provide for his kids. But it's not like his kids are going to suffer. Now, like I said, he had, like, I think, when his kids are with him, obviously he has to do certain things, whatever, and provide for them in a certain way. But Kim is a multimillionaire too, probably almost a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like her level of income is crazy. So like I just want to know, like, where do they get this number from, and why that number, and why do we, like, I don't know when it comes to family court stuff like this, if it is public information, But like, I think this should be like an NDA type of thing. Like you know what I mean? Like, why do we even know that he's paying any child support? Like, we shouldn't. I don't think we should know all those details. However, we know how the Kardashians get down. They put everything in the headline. Like every morsel of information about them is news, and it should be talked about. So it's not like we in their business, but like you would just think that like, yo, y'all could come up with some type of like verbal agreement, and then y'all just handle business, whatever. But $200K a month in child support. What I was reading was, I read an article on The Guardian, and it was talking about this situation and like basically where that number comes from. And it says that in a lot of situations when we talk about high profile, and most of the time it's high profile dads, right? It says this lawyer, she was a like a family court lawyer. I think she's from New York, whatever. But she was basically like, they interviewed her, and she said, in these situations with these high profile fathers, right, you can't have one rich parent and one poor parent. So basically, the legal justification for these high dollar amount child support settlements is that that's the justification, that like basically they try to equalize the situation. You know what I mean? And they talked about, well, you know what I mean, you got to think about his kids. They go to Sierra Canyon private school, right? So we talking about anywhere from 20 to 40K a year in tuition, right? So he got 4 kids that go to those schools. So I mean, that's at least on the low end, 80K a year on that. They talked about private jets that they might take, security, and just anything to kind of help like kind of maintain their lifestyle because of him not being in their family. But I just want to know, what were they doing so prior to him having to be in order to pay child support, when even though the kids are like living with Kim, right? What was he doing? Like, what was his obligations to pay prior to that? Like, what did they do, like, in terms of that? Because I think when you're rich, like, to their level, I don't even think they think about money like that. You know what I mean? Not in the sense of like spending the money. Like, they think about money and earning it, but I don't even know if they're like pressed. So, I don't know. Some people are thinking like, you know, this is just a way to kind of like further deplete his wealth and like basically try to bury him under with obligations like this. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it just does seem a little bit excessive. But we know, you know what I mean, you know, the phrase, you know, she wasn't with me shooting in the gym, right? Like that's a real life phrase, man, and we love Drake for saying that. And a lot of times we think of like the woman that's just a regular person, and she has a kid to a athlete, a actor, somebody in the entertainment industry, and this woman, her life has changed forever. You know what I mean? Well, it's that justification. Can't have one poor parent, one rich parent. But I think men need to kind of get that in their head, like, yo, like, no matter if you think it's right, that's what the courts are going off of. They're going off of that kind of mindset, whatever. So maybe you want to think twice before you, just get with a random and seat them up. You know what I mean? And I know there's, they do crazy things out there to try to get a check. You know what I mean? And there's there's women that have malicious intent. But brothers, you know what I mean, fellas, you just gotta move smarter out here, man. So and one last thing with Kanye, and this was a couple weeks ago, and I just don't know where he was going with this, why he do this. But so Ye threw CP3 under the bus, Chris Paul, and he says that Kim cheated on him with CP3, or he said what he said was, he's like, oh, before I get going, he's like, let me say this real quick. I caught this guy with Kim, and it was a picture of Chris Paul, whatever. Now I don't know what you get out of that. Since that has come out, Kim has said that like she has not done anything with Chris Paul, whatever. And whatever. I don't know if that's the case or not. However, and I said something about Drake just a second ago, right? There's some internet investigators, maybe some Twitter investigators, man, that really started going ham. So after he said that, right, and we gonna maybe verify, we're gonna say this allegedly happened, whatever. But a picture resurfaced, right, that dates back to around the time that Certified Lover Boy came out, right? So we know Certified Lover Boy, Drake had some smoke for Kanye West, right? A lot of smoke for him. Well, in the picture, it's Drake and two of his friends, and they're all wearing Chris Paul jerseys. Like, we talking about like New Orleans Chris Paul, LA Clippers Chris Paul, and then Phoenix Suns Chris Paul. Now, why would three men wear Chris Paul jerseys? Why would three friends just wear Chris Paul jerseys and they not at a Phoenix game, whatever? Well, people are saying that because we know I talked about Drake being petty, and we know that how petty he is, whatever. Like, he might be the petty king, might be the king troll for real. And he's like a good troll. Like, he's not like a crazy, he's not like a 6ix9ine or anything like that. But he plays mind games, man. He's playing chess out here, you know what I mean? Like social media chess, like rap game chess, whatever. And they're saying that, like, like that was obviously playing, and probably people looked at those jerseys, probably didn't think nothing of it. But like, if that's true, that picture is from the time that Certified Lover Boy came out, Drake is the ultimate mastermind, man, and he was really trolling this nigga from last year. Like, he was trolling from the beginning. And again, that might be where what Kanye's talking about, you know what I mean? Like, at some point in time, the industry, people knew in the industry allegedly that they had some type of friendship or kinship or whatever, and it manifested itself in Drake trying to troll Kanye, man. So what y'all think, man? What y'all think about the bull lately, man? What y'all think about his mental state, and just in general, man? Like, where's he going next? What's his next venture? Because I know, even before the end of this year, we haven't seen the last of Kanye, man. So that's that on that. Yeah, let me see. I got two more little things here. Two reviews, so to speak. Yeah, let's get into these, man. And I'll wrap it up with just some light TV talk, whatever, just content talk. But so Nope, right? So Jordan Peele's Nope. That is available on Peacock. I don't know how long that's been available. I don't know if, like, because sometimes when some of these movies get released, they go right to Peacock. Sometimes it takes a little while. Well, Nope is on Peacock. Jordan Peele's, it's not even a horror movie, but I think I anticipated it being a horror movie. It's more maybe a mystery thriller. It wasn't a lot of thrill to me, whatever. However, it's a lot of mixed reviews. So when I went to Rotten Tomatoes, I think it had about 69%. And it was funny because then when you look at the ratings, the highest ratings are either 5s or 1s, right? So there's not a lot of in between. So you either hated it or you loved it, whatever, right? So one comment said it was like, it's a better movie to argue about than to watch, right? So I agree, man, because it is kind of long. The movie was kind of long for what they were trying to accomplish. Daniel Kaluuya, I like him as an actor, but basically, I feel like this guy's just cashing in checks, man, because this guy, he said like 5 words in the whole movie. Like, I don't even know why he was in the movie. Keke Palmer was, she was Keke Palmer, man. Like, I feel like she was just playing herself. But just the plot, it just didn't, to me, it didn't make sense to me. Like, it didn't seem like there was a purpose. Now, my guy Naj, man, Most High Naj, man, on Twitter, he gave me an explanation as of what it is. He said that it's about, and it made it a little bit more clear as like when I thought back on it. So he said it's about like this idea of human spectacle and how like we think that we're like the center of the universe, but we're not really that important, you know what I'm saying? And like there's just bigger entities, and basically like almost like the consequences for wanting to be the spectacle. Like, all right, you want to be the spectacle? We're gonna make you a spectacle, so to speak. And I mean, there's like these UFOs in there, and what they're doing is like they're sucking people up, into this, like, I don't know, it looked like I ain't gonna lie, the UFO ship thing, when they suck people up, it looked like a coochie. Like it's like just moving in and out like a contracting coochie, bro. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like a vagina that's like squeezing itself onto you and shit like that, whatever. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. It wasn't scary. I think I kind of went into it thinking it would be a little bit scary. There's like these scenes with this chimpanzee in there where like it gets like really gruesome and brutal, and I thought that was like gonna be a deeper thing, but I felt like that just kind of hung in the balance. But I guess it still goes into this like human spectacle narrative. I don't know, man. But I just feel like whatever he was trying to execute, it wasn't clear enough. And like I said, this is a movie that you can debate whether it was good or not. I mean, close people to me did not like it. You know what I mean? When I tried to watch it, I was like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? Because I like Get Out. Us is okay. You know what I mean? And I like some of his other things that he does, you know, with Monkey Paw Productions. But for me, Nope was just that. Nope. Like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? And I'm not even gonna watch it again. Like, even with some explanation, whatever, I'm not watching. I'm not wasting another 2 hours of my life on that movie, man. So y'all check it out, man, if you want to. I'm still gonna support Jordan Peele, man, and I'm looking forward to what he has next. He's trying stuff, man, and I commend him for that. And he always has a good cast. But this one, nope. Nope. It's like that. But and then let's see, another show. All right, man. So if y'all watching TV and you're looking for like a quick binge, like you're looking for something that you could binge in a pretty short amount of time, one season right now, you know what I mean? And if you like the show Shameless, you'll probably like this because it has Jeremy Allen White, the actor that plays Philip Gallagher, right? So if you like that, you'll love seeing him in this. It's a TV show called The Bear. So I remember seeing a lot of people kind of talk about this show, and you know, I don't always jump to shows right away. I didn't know what it really was about. And then I got a chance to, like, I was kind of like caught up with the things that I was watching, and then I just had some free time, and I said, let me check this out, whatever. And I loved it. And now you go to Rotten Tomatoes on that, right? That has like a 99% rating. Like everybody loves this. Everybody loves this show. Like, so it's not only critically acclaimed, but the fans love it. Again, if you like Shameless, it's not Shameless, but it does take place in Chicago, and it does have one of our favorite actors on there from one of our favorite shows. And man, so basically, it's a drama about a restaurant. You know what I mean? And it's not really comedy, but it does have some light moments, right? So it's about a young chef that takes over his brother's struggling restaurant, right? And his brother is deceased, okay? And I'm not going to reveal how the brother died or anything like that because I want you to watch it. But the brother's deceased. And so Philip Gallagher, so his name is Carmen, right? So he's actually a master chef. And this place is basically just a well-known sandwich shop in Chicago. So you're wondering, like, why is this, like, this master chef, this guy that worked in one of the greatest restaurants in the world and had all this acclaim and all this, why did he, you know, kind of reduce himself to work in this place, I mean, and to take over this business? Well, you know, he's basically, throughout the show, he's tasked with basically trying to put out the fires and solve old problems his brother left behind with him, right? So there are definitely some funny moments. I wouldn't necessarily call it a comedy, but it definitely will have you hooked. And it's a quick little binge, right? I mean, first season, it's only 10 episodes, half hour for each episode. Really gets into like that restaurant industry. You know, if you like, I watch stuff like Hell's Kitchen and stuff like that too. So like, it gives you some of those vibes in terms of like how they're working the line and things like that. But really likable characters, really cool personalities in there, and like I said, the story captivates you, and the way it ends, it's such a satisfying finale. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's one of the things where like things are just going left, like things are going bad, and then just the finale is a lot of relief to you as the audience, and it's something that you're gonna love. And the way that ends, it definitely feels like there can be more seasons. So I'm looking forward to that probably next year. You know what I mean? But it's called The Bear on FX, and you can probably catch on Hulu because Hulu has all the FX shows. So other than that, man, what have y'all been watching in terms of TV? Yeah, because we about to wrap this up. I've been watching. Shout out to my boy Terrence Green. I have been watching Step Up. Season 3 is pretty good. There are moments in that show where it's like it's a little cringy. I think it's just I don't know. It's probably the writing a little bit. I like Neo as a singing artist. I don't know if I believe who this character Sage Odom. I don't know if he does it for me in this show. But yeah, so I've been watching that. What else have I watched? No. One more show to talk about. So y'all know my guilty pleasure is watching these dating reality shows, right? Off the hook. I love that shit. I don't know. It's just I think ever since like Flavor Love, Ray J show, all that, like I love that shit, right? Like that's my shit, right? So we got a new reality dating show. It's called Groove Hotel, right? The Groove Hotel with Tay Diggs, right? So it's on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, and basically it's kind of has the F-Boy Island setup, right? Where you got 3 women trying to bag these men, right? Well, the catch is, right, these are older women. These are women that are 40 plus, right? And all the men are younger guys. Like everybody is at least 15 is like 13, 15 years younger than them, right? Some guys are maybe even 20 years younger, right? So, and I ain't gonna lie, man, the 3 women that they chose, they got it going on looks wise, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of weird, man. Like like there's some moments where it is kind of weird, and I'll tell you this, right? So, because you can watch all the episodes, all the episodes are out right now, so I'm not spoiling anything. You go check it out, whatever, right? Well, one of the contestants, right? Her name is Stephanie, and she has a son. She has a son that's like 22 years old. She's 41, right? She's 41. I think maybe she's 42. I think she might be 42, 41, right? She said that she had her kid when she was 19. But yeah, her son's 22 years old. Yo, this nigga is one of the contestants on the show, bro. And you don't learn that until like so spoiler, you don't learn that until like episode like 3, right? But yeah, he's one of the contestants. Now, obviously, he's not trying to bag his mom, but there's like a weird attachment there. Like obviously, I mean, she went through some medical issues, whatever, and they talk about that in the show. I won't share that, whatever. But yeah, so she's saying like her son is her biggest support, and like he's always there for her. She referenced her son. She said, yeah, my son is like, yeah, he's like my best friend, my little brother, whatever. So they're, if you ask me, they're a little bit too close. They're just a little bit too close, whatever. And like it's funny because like when the guy, she tells the female peers, she tells them first, whatever, right? And the audience, we know that what it is, whatever. And she tells the girls first. And now one of the women is trying to kind of likes this younger guy, you know what I mean? And, they keep making like little jokes like, oh, that's like my nephew. Like, oh, they call it a family outing when they go out and stuff like that. And it's kind of weird, whatever. But it's just like, so one, right? All right, as women, right? Would you want a woman that is like a peer to you or a friend? Even let's just say a friend of yours. Would you want one of your friends to date your adult sons? Now, granted, obviously you can't fathom that. I don't know. I don't have any. Like, I'm not old enough to have adult kids. I don't even know anybody that has like adult kids yet. Like I'm not that. But that's weird. That's weird as fuck. Whatever. Like, what I mean, wanting to date your friend's son, whatever. And I think she's dealing with that dilemma. Like, she's kind of like, it's kind of fucking her up a little bit. She's like kind of wondering if it's even cool to do it. And then so then there's this idea of where, so this one guy likes the woman Stephanie, like, and he's like her top guy. And he made he was shocked when he learned, because he used to talk to the boy, the dudes. So his mom named Stephanie, and then the son is named Steven. So he used to talk to Steven about the mom, like, because he thought that the dude was his homie. And then when he found it out, he just thought he felt betrayed. And it's a dude from Philly. It's funny, and it's only until then where I started to really hear his Philly accent. By the way, but anyway, so yeah, he feels kind of betrayed. He kind of feels like kind of off. He's off put by it, whatever. And he made a comment to her. He said, all right, because he's starting to like, it's okay because it don't got nothing to do with him. But he said that like, yeah, if anything, I'm gonna have to create a boundary between us. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean, you my main priority. You know what I mean, so I just can't talk to him that much. And the mom, she was like, it was almost like she was offended by what he said. Now he didn't say that he got beef with the nigga. He ain't saying that he don't like him, whatever. He just saying like, yo, we got, we need a little bit of separation, man, because yeah, bro, if I'm friends with you, right, and I want to date this woman, an older woman, I don't know it's your mom, right? I don't even know that's your mom. But then once I find out it's your mom, bro, like, one, you're not even gonna want to be like a man ain't gonna want to be friends with no dude that's trying to bag his mom, whatever, especially somebody that's close to him in age. But like, what do you expect? Like, why does he have to be best buddies with your son? You know what I mean? And she kept saying like, he's the most important person in my world. And I'm like, well, that might be the problem. Like, that might be why you in some of the situations that you in, right? So, you know what I mean? And this is a younger guy too. Like, there's other probably problems that can kind of arise from this, because these are women, most of these women that are on the show, the three women, I think two of them at least, they have 20-something-year-old sons, right? So I think it's weird that they're part of this thing. If they had daughters, maybe it wouldn't be as weird, whatever. But the fact that they have sons, it makes it weird. I mean, but then also too, like these younger guys, if you're dating one of these women, you probably don't, like, you have to kind of in your head, you gotta think like, yo, I don't want kids. I don't want kids, right? Because these women ain't about to have no kids at 40 plus. You know what I mean? And I don't recommend that they should. You know what I mean? And they probably shouldn't or whatever. But it's just, it's entertaining. But and I think the concept is kind of cool, because I'm thinking like, damn, why didn't they think of that? Well, when they doing weird shit like this, having like sons as contestants as well, I can see why there's like a weird gray area, and why we probably haven't seen a show like this. But if you want some quick entertainment, something to binge real quick, watch Groove Hotel with Taye Diggs. And the title is misleading. You only see Taye Diggs, I swear, like 2 episodes. You see him in the very first episode, and you might have seen him. I think you only see him in the first episode, to be honest. Like, maybe he was in the second episode, but like, he's not even in it at all, which is kind of like, I wanted to hear his commentary, the hosting and all that. He might be in some of these later episodes, but yeah, that's that on that, man. So yeah, man, what y'all think, man? What y'all think about this week? Leave a comment in the comment section, man. Again, what can we do better here at this 280 Plus podcast? You got smoke from me. Give me the smoke. Hit the like button, man. If you're still watching, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Let's increase this engagement. Man, yo, we going up, man. You know what I mean, 280 Plus, we going up in 2023. We ain't talking about no rebranding yet, man. But like, I always wonder, man, if Elon Musk changes the character limit, and he increases it, do I have to change my name? You know what I mean? Can I, like, will this have any meaning, whatever? But shout out to my guy, Josh Santiago, CMP Media. You've seen him as a guest a couple times on the show. Man, I'm working with him, man, as a business partner, and he's definitely helping me, and we about to get some sponsorship opportunities. And as I get more details and we kind of roll this out, whatever, I'm gonna start advertising those sponsorship opportunities on this show. And you'll start to hear me as we get sponsors. You'll start to hear me talk about some of these businesses and companies that want me to be a part of it, but also that I want to be a part of this show as well, man. So shout out to my boy for that. Again, man, you know what I mean, don't overdo it for Christmas this year. Go Pack Go, even though we out of the playoffs. Kanye West, man, what we gonna see next to him? And Deion Sanders, man, like, congratulations, man, for your accomplishment. I don't look at you as a sellout, but I know a lot of people do. But again, can we celebrate what he's accomplished and what he's actually brought to the table, as opposed to villainizing him for kind of doing what he thinks is best for his life, and things like that. So yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all. Again, we out every Wednesday. You can catch us, follow me on social media, and this is another episode of 280 Plus Podcast, y'all. I'm out.